So who's going to take us even closer to that super coveted and enviable number one spot on such a fascinating list as this? Well, at this number 5 spot is going to be the stunningly spectacular and amazing-looking Koenigsegg Jesko. It's got such a unique and super aggressive, yet still quite pretty look for a supercar or hypercar. And it's so differently designed from all those exotic classics too. And that's why I'm so impressed by it. But how come it didn't make it any higher than this number 5 spot on this list then? Well, because of one major and massive shortcoming with its look and design. And can you guess which part it is? Go ahead and pause this video, write down your answer, and then get back to this list after you've done just that. I mean it. Go ahead and do it. I'll wait a bit. Alrighty, are you ready for this art criticism and design lesson now? It was one of those, what were they thinking with that design choice and decision things? How did they miss such a glaring design flaw and make such an obvious artistic mistake? Well, which part is it and has it been then? It's those tiny little slits of a headlight that look like they belong on one of those puny little smart cars in Germany and not the face of this super sexy Swedish supercar. There have just been such strange and misfitting pieces for this car and have taken away from the Jesko's overall great looks so much and have also done such a huge disservice to it as well overall. Or to put another way, it's so silly looking out of place and unattractive little headlights that have kept this otherwise amazingly great looking and beautiful supercar from placing even higher on this list of all these super exclusive vehicles. So, up next, it's time for us to find out who has been a runner-up to the top 3 finishers of the super special list of only the super special greatest. Well, then, who did wind up here at this particular 4th place finish? Why? It's going to be Mr. Ironman's own ride itself. The awe-inspiring and mesmerizing Audi R8. Well, I probably shouldn't say that it's Iron Man's ride because Iron Man doesn't need a car. It's the man inside of that high-tech titanium armor that needed a different kind of armor and one with rubber wheels to get himself around when he wasn't all suited up in steel in that first movie. And please be aware that I am only referring to the Type 42 edition of the Audi R8 and not that latter Type 4S version. The one where they chopped off a noticeable portion of its lovely nose, and it has ended up looking like a pretty girl who had had a sizable portion of her nose's beautiful tip get lopped off. What a disappointment and tragedy. Or to just put it more bluntly, I do not like, and have never preferred that short, stubby-nosed version of the R8. What were they thinking? And if you ask me, I'd say that they took a massive step back with that most recent version's look. But to get back to our preferred version, that first generation one, the world was not ready for the R8 when it exploded onto the scene in 2006. It was so unique and strangely different, but in the most awesome of ways possible. It looked futuristic, or looked like it had just arrived from the future, and was just something that was so radically different from all of those that had come before it, as well as being so unconventional with its appearance too from all of its contemporaries as well. But once again, and most importantly, always in the most awesome of ways possible with all of those differences that it did bring to the supercar circles at the time. And it's just been one of the most unique, jaw-dropping, and fascinating automotive designs that the world has ever seen since then. And that's why it made it onto this list of only the best and greatest that the automotive industry has ever offered. And fairly high up on it too. So ladies and gents, the time has finally come once again for the reveal of our top 3 finishers on another top 10. But remember, this is not just any top 10 list. Oh no, this is a list of what I consider to be the absolute most beautiful cars in all of human history, and that mankind has ever conceived. So having said all that, who do we have as our bronze place finisher then? Well, in a crowd that prides itself on and is all about uniqueness and super exclusivity, at this coveted 3rd place finish on this ultra exclusive top 10 list is this incredible 2nd generation Ford GT supercar. And this latest Ford GT looks nothing like your stereotypical supercars of those yesteryears. And that's one of the main reasons why it has landed so high up on this collection of the most super unique and special rides to ever grace God's green earth. The Ford GT's look is not unlike these 2 other recent supercars' looks, the Aston Martin Valkyrie and Valhalla's looks, which are so radically different from your stereotypical and conventionally looking supercars, but in a super awesome and positive way. And that's what matters most amongst this super niche group, that are already a part of the super exclusive automobiles club of this world. And the Ford GT's looks are just that in spades. So unconventional and so atypical from your stereotypical supercar look, but in such an amazing and awesome way. That was how it was able to beat out that all-time great Lamborghini look, and even that ultra-sexy Honda and SX's jaw-droppingly gorgeous look, to secure this bronze medal spot on this list of only history's very best. Oh, it's about to get really spicy in here, because everybody always highly praises that first-place finisher, but most people don't realize how devastating it can be to be the one who almost was that competition and contest top guy or girl. So, who is this potentially salty second-place finisher then? Who was the one who almost was the king of this super coveted hill, but came up just a smidge short of that illustrious top spot? Well, how would I start out with describing this particular supercar? I'd say it is the embodiment of boldness in sheet metal form. It is also so much more beastly and savagely looking than pretty, although it somehow still has quite a bit of Mount prettiness too, to go along with all that savagery at the same time. But for a hypercar or supercar look, it is definitely more of a muscular brute than a graceful swan or lovely beauty queen, I'd say, like some of the other cars of this list. So who have I been describing? What's this beast's name? Out with it then. It has been none other than the mighty Bugatti Veyron. After a many decade hiatus in the automotive world, Bugatti seemingly reappears out of nowhere and reappears bigly with the pretty cool EB110. But then that was followed up by the earth-shattering and mind-melting Bugatti Veyron. The Veyron has always been a car that is not only larger than life, but one that our little human minds can barely comprehend, with performance like nothing I had ever seen before at the time of its debut, and a look that just boggled the mind and caused our little human brains to struggle to understand it all. That's been this world-famous marvel, that is the Bugatti Veyron. But, guess what? As insanely stunning, amazing, and out of this world that the Veyron has been, it still wasn't the top cat of this top 10 list. Oh, so who do you think it's going to be? To make it even more interesting and fun for yourself and your family or friends who may be watching this video with you, pause the show and take a moment to write down which car you think or believe is at my number 1 spot on this super short list of all the most jaw-droppingly gorgeous cars of all time. Go ahead and do it. I'll wait a bit. Alrighty, ladies and gents. It is finally time to make known our super special number 1 finisher of this super special and unique list. And it is going to be the Ferrari LaFerrari. Yes, the LaFerrari. Who else did you think it was going to be? If Lamborghini wasn't able to do it, who else was going to be left that would be able to? The McLaren F1? Nah. Remember how I said earlier that I see so many design flaws with that car's look? It had an impressive BMW motor for the time, and that atypical and unusual 3-seater configuration, as well as that gold lining of its engine bay. But this is a list about the greatest automotive beauties that this world has ever seen. And the LaFerrari definitely has a McLaren beat by a pretty sizable margin with that. So there you have it, ladies and gents. The Ferrari LaFerrari is the absolute best of the absolute best that's out there right now when it comes to this automotive beauty contest. Congrats to Ferrari for taking this super special crown. So that was the best of the best of the best. The absolute bestest. What does your list look like? Were there any on mine that shocked and surprised you? Drop that thought in the comment section down below, and thanks for joining me on this one. Until the next one, peace.